a quelques minutes pour des questions.
Et je prends des questions en français.
Voilà, donc peut-être juste pour lancer la discussion, effectivement, cette forme de réversibilité est-elle une manière de suspendre le temps?
Oui.
Est-ce que tu penses qu'il y a un lien possible à faire entre cette conception et une histoire naturelle, quelque chose comme une histoire naturelle?
It's a very difficult question because one has first to somehow make explicit what histoire naturelle might mean, but I would like to understand it in the sense also the proposal for this conference understands it, and so to what is understood as ahistorical in the context of a specific historical situation. So how a specific historical situation creates its own ahistorical point of reference. And I think I would absolutely agree. So in order to understand Diderot, I think one has first to see that he somehow embraces, acknowledges the force and the overwhelming power of a certain idea about history, the idea about history as a progressive rationalization. So this is, so to speak, the kind of ideology he thinks that is somehow inescapable, and he responds to this ideology by creating this kind of temps suspendu, or by referring to this temps suspendu of a model of reversibility, of reversion of all those processes that are normally understood as principally irreversible. So yes, I think I can.
Merci beaucoup. Donc j'ai un micro là, si quelqu'un veut poser une question. Marcus, Angela.
Yes, thank you very much. I was really impressed by this position of the chronologically last scene of Diderot's work in the middle. Because I was wondering if you didn't show us actually a very deep reflection through art on the question of the origin. I mean, it's like if Diderot told us the Benjaminian lecture, that is, try not to confound the beginning of things with the origin of things. So, and it is as if beginning and end could be developed temporally and linearly, but when you think of the origin, it's space that comes into question. So, for example, the idea of putting this originary scene at the center, it seems really, as assuming as origin of all these daily or creaturely life, the moment of death in the end, because it's the horizon, which is also very Benjaminian. I mean, so I was just wondering if really the articulation of reversibility made reversible by Roth was also the question of beginning and end as seen through the prism, if you want, the light of the origin. And if this origin is in the end this biological life, which is so central biopolitically, I mean, if he's trying to tell us something like this or not.
No, thanks. I think this is a very, very good suggestion, and certainly have to think more about it. But the whole idea of the ring and the fold, those are somehow also traditional. It's commonplaces about origins and creations. But what he's doing with these commonplaces is he highlights them as somehow like a device, as a very simple trick, but he nevertheless is extremely committed to this trick. So this is something what I find fascinating with him. So here he does not, he places the scenes of his absence and the scenes where we already we are forced to think about his death, he places them not really in the center, but somehow he randomly in the right part of the triptych. So again, it's like the very simple trick of a Möbius strip. You just have a ring, you cut it and make like this, and then you create something that allows you to think about origin, that the origin can manifest itself at every single moment. So this is what you want to say. But I think, and I agree with this, but with Dieter Roth, maybe, which I should have highlighted a little bit more, there's always this emphasis that there is this pathos, but at the same time, it's a very simple trick. And so there's something, I wouldn't say cynical in his art, but something very cruel and aggressive in his art, that he thinks about his own art as a very, in a certain sense, is a very simple trick. The very simple trick to suggest to us that the origin can be everywhere, and can manifest itself in every single moment. But he's completely committed to these simple tricks. It's not that he's ironic vis-à-vis these tricks. So it's just an elaboration on what you have said.
Dernière question peut-être, Soumaïn.
It's a kind of continuation of Angela Mengoni's reflection on this fascinating triptych, which I think was exhibited at the Venice Biennial 2 years ago. I was thinking of the position of this final video as something as a vanishing point, sort of a perspectival vanishing point to structuring the others around it. So it could be another way to interpret its function as origin, as something like which really organizes the space of the others around it.
Yeah, I think it's a compelling remark. I think I have to rethink about it because, as I've shown you, there is a deep engagement with perspectival construction in his work, and I've only presented to you it as a polemical engagement. So the Möbius strip against the perspectival construction. But what you have said would suggest, and I think it's to me an important suggestion, that this is maybe too simple, that there's maybe also a kind of recuperation of the perspectival model, and this would be another way to think about this work. Yeah, thanks a lot.
Merci beaucoup, Ralph. Je pense qu'on peut prendre une petite pause maintenant.